Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Realm. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing Indie Spotlight on an action film, not horror. All right, today I have with us first, he's the director and writer. I have with us Sean Nerona. Sean, welcome to the Horror Realm.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure. Next, she's the leading actress in this film. In this film, I have Nicole Cates. Nicole, welcome to the Horror Realm.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
It's a pleasure. And finally, he's a supporting actor. Listen, he's also been in Conjuring 3 also. I have with us Davis Osborne. Davis, welcome to the Horror Realm.
Thank you, thank you. Most stoked to be here.
For sure. And they have a new movie that's hitting the film festival circuits right now. It's an action movie, and it's called Blackout. All right, guys, listen, we're going to jump right into it. Sean, tell us a little bit about Blackout.
So, Blackout is a action film about a female assassin who has what's called dissociative amnesia. So basically, she has these time periods that are just kind of blocked out of her memory, where her mind's kind of protecting her from, potential traumas. But she's kind of used this to her advantage in her professional lifestyle. So she gets to live the perks of like a hitman, but without any of like the moral kind of dilemma of dealing with all those emotions afterwards. So the movie actually takes place during one of her jobs where everything kind of goes wrong, and she ends up having to kind of come face to face with all of the actual emotions that come along with killing people.
Nice. Now, was it tough as a filmmaker to take an action film and to make it a short film and get that beginning, middle, and end in such a short period of time?
Yeah, that's something I've always struggled with as an artist. And actually, that's kind of part of the reason I wanted to make this production right now. When I was in film school, I made like a short that was the exact same concept and by the same name. But I just, I was young and I didn't really know what I was doing, and nothing really came out of it. But I really still enjoyed the concept. And so now, about like 10 years later, multiple jobs later, I've built up a bunch of skills and have done a lot more. I wanted to see what I could bring to that same story. So, I reworked the script and I got like a whole new team together, and really tried to make something special. But it was definitely challenging to tell such an intricate story in about 20 minutes.
And were your plans to make this like a proof of concept and eventually maybe get a full length feature, or did you just mean this to be a short film?
Yeah. Oh, well, so I guess the goal for me was definitely to kind of start getting my work back out there. And I kind of looked at Blackout as kind of, setting my foot in the world again, just kind of like getting my feet wet with filmmaking. Just because I hadn't made something like this for like years, and it felt like like the right project to do it. But now that I know that it has legs and that people are enjoying it and that it's getting some press and like we're really proud of what we made. That now, if anybody were to say they were interested in investing in a feature, we would 100% jump on that. And of course, I have so many other stories that I want to tell. So this is just the first of many.
And Nicole, I'm gonna shoot to you. Now, what about this script drew you in? And you were like, damn, I got to be a part of this.
Yeah, I felt like it was such a unique opportunity to portray a character, specifically a female character that I don't see very often on the screen. A female assassin who also has dissociative, memory. It was just so fascinating to me. How does this interplay into her personal life? How does this, affect her emotions? Obviously she's not remembering it, but your body remembers things, right? And so how does that relay itself into how she sees herself, because she knows that at the very least she's accepting these jobs. She just doesn't remember kind of the nuts and bolts of it. So I thought that it was just such a compelling story. And Sean and I just had a very collaborative approach and vision. So I felt really comfortable, exploring that on the screen, and felt comfortable being vulnerable to really try new things and push myself. Whereas, in other films that I've done, you feel a little timid sometimes. You don't want to embarrass yourself. But on this one, I was like, fuck it. If I need to fall over 5 times, it's fine. At the end of one of the days, I had done like 3 different fight scenes that each took several hours. And at one point, I literally just fell to the ground and I was like, I'm done. I can't move. I'm done. So yeah, hope that answers that question.
Now, you've been acting a while, Nicole. Did you ever think to yourself, oh my goodness, I'm going to be an action star one day?
Never. So when I started like a lot of people, I think, doing theater in high school and college. I got my degree in psychology, but I always loved theater. So I did a lot of theater in college. And then I was like, you know what, let's try some film stuff, got into horror films. And at the time I was not a particularly active person, I would say. And so when action films came into my life, I was like, all right, Nicole, get your shit together. Like, let's start getting it. So luckily we had a fantastic stunt team, Argon Core combat choreography. It's a mouthful, but they were so good. And we spent like 2 days doing training with them, eating with them, staying at their house. Like, it was fully immersive. I had to put on a weighted vest, which I thought I was gonna like fucking die. It was fine. I made it barely. The dog was really the one like pushing me through. So, but yeah, I never thought this would be where I was at, and I have loved every second of it. Not just because of the wonderful adrenaline and endorphins you get from it, but also just because I've been able to meet some amazing people.
And this next question is for both Davis and you. But I'm gonna ask Davis first. Davis, when it comes to doing, you've starred in all type of genre of movies. Do you feel like action movies are a little tougher than other ones?
This was a tougher character for me anyway. Sean knows this. I had no dialogue, so everything had to be expressed through movement or facial expression or emotion. And Nicole was amazing to play off of that, because she gave me more than I would need when I needed to get to those places I needed to go to. And so, but truth is, anytime someone says action film, the 10-year-old in me starts jumping up and down, because I know I get to play dress up and jump off buildings and run down through the woods and maybe pick up a stick, sword fight somebody. So this was a great time to play a character. And like Nicole said, we had an amazing team around us. Sean put together an amazing team of stunt people. And I remember there was a scene where I had to run kind of through the woods, and I nicked my leg or something, and there was a little bit of blood coming down my calf. And immediately that team was there with the first aid kit. And I mean, it was a small little cut, but they were there with the bandages, with the Band-Aids. Davis, are you all right? Davis, what can we do? Davis, are you good? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. So.
And Nicole?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I think that just when it comes to action films, kind of like what Davis said, like, you kind of that young childlike wonder comes out in you, because I know when I was a kid, I would run around with my dad pretending like I was, a dragon slayer, sword fighter. And so, yeah, I think it just brings that out in you. The set was amazing. Like, and just repeating what Davis said again, they were always taking care of us. When I fell to the ground in agony, no, not agony, but they were, real quick on that water. I mean, just like, Nicole needs a break. Nicole needs to sit down. And I, the ego in me was like, no, I can keep going. As I'm saying it, I'm like, I can keep going. I felt like the dried up SpongeBob. So, yeah, but yeah, the whole thing was just an amazing experience. And working with Davis, neither of us actually had any dialogue like on the set. All of it was ADR. It was voiceover. So we really had to work hard to feed off each other's emotions and just play with that. And I think everyone on set was really keen to help us set the tone and the environment, which was really helpful because, you know, sometimes that can be hard as an actor, or at least it's hard for me. But once I put on the outfit as well, like, I just felt like such a badass. So it made my job easy.
And Sean, we talked a little bit about this in the pre-interview. You know, I interview a lot of indie horror filmmakers, and it seems like when it comes to new filmmakers, horror is the preferred genre to go with. And we were talking about probably because of, you know, cost wise. Is it? Is it tough to manage a budget when it comes to doing an indie action film?
It was because I mean, when you think about Hollywood movies, honestly, the action films are the ones that are going to cost the most money. They're the ones that are going to need the biggest stunts and the latest special effects, and of course, like the stunt team, which doubles the people on your set and all that. So it was very interesting to try to do this on such a micro budget. So we really had to, be careful about where we put our money, but we wanted to make sure that we had the right team with us. And like Nicole said, one of those expenses that was completely worth it was hiring Argon Core, because they were there not only on set to make sure everything ran smoothly, but they trained our actors, they choreographed all of our fight scenes, including the gunfight scenes, not just the hand-to-hand combat, and were the team actually had certain people play some of the goons that were in the movie. There were some mercenaries. There was also like a kind of like final boss character that Nicole fought, and it led to like a really great climax to the film. So uh, it was it was challenging to keep the budget tight, but it really I think worked out in the end.
All right. Now, how important? How important is it as a filmmaker, you know, an acting crew to have that bond? This is a round robin question for everyone. How important is it? Because you even see in the big budget movies, you know, when actors and actresses have spits and spats, and even the filmmaker, it can completely fuck a movie up. So, how important it is to have that bond with not only your actors and actresses, but also with the filmmakers?
Yeah, I'll start. I so far I haven't had any bad experiences on a set with when it comes to like drama or anything. But I do feel like every time I've made a movie that there's a different level of bonding that you do with all the people around you than like other projects. I feel like once we're done with it, we feel like we've all come out of some kind of war and we've been like kind of comrade bonded. We just I feel like veteran with everyone, and it's just something that you take with you, and then you're good friends afterwards, and then hopefully you'll rejoin them on another set one day. And I definitely feel like on this production, that was my experience. Like I have a whole new set of friends, and I'm definitely going to be working with these people in the future. But yeah, I'd love to hear Nicole and Davis's thoughts on that.
I can go next. Yeah, it's incredibly important. Sean, I'm so glad that you haven't had any like negative like drama experiences on set. I have, and they were the worst. Like it just completely derails you as an actor, and I'm sure for the other people on set, where you just I couldn't get out of my head. You know, it was really difficult to really sink into the role and sink into the moment because I had all these other things that I was thinking about, like, oh, that person hates that person, and I don't, it was like high school, like Mean Girls all over again. So, yeah, I think being able to bond with the people on set, it makes it more fun. It makes you. You can see it on screen, I think, in a lot of ways. And like Davis and I got along so well, and I think that chemistry really comes across on the film, and especially with Argon Core, I stayed with them for 2 days and like I said, ate at their table and chatted with them and shot the shit with them and took whiskey shots with them. So you get really close. I actually, one of the people from Argencore, Paula, I talk to her like almost every day. So you
Nice.
just, that's how it goes. And, these are people that I plan to have in my life forever. It just truly makes the whole experience. And then you can look back on the experience as well and smile, as opposed to being like, ooh, that was a rough one. So yeah, I think it's vital for sure.
And Davis?
Oh, Davis, you're muted.
You're muted, Davis.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. I think Sean did something cool. He I'm also a filmmaker, and I think most filmmakers, smart filmmakers, know that pre-production is 90% of your production. To get to build to that and to get what you need to make a film. And Sean put together a promotional kind of photo shoot, film thing to where we got together in this small space and spent the day together. And just spent time with one another to get to meet one another, to get to know one another a little bit, to connect with one another before we even started. It was months before we started filming, correct, Sean? It was like a few months, and
Yeah.
and we all got to be there and be in this creative space as creative people. And there wasn't a real pressure there because we were just doing a kind of a promo shoot. And I think one thing probably Sean and Nicole don't know is I know Jacob, one of our producers, knows I threw my back out the night before, really, really bad. I was in severe pain, and I had to fake it all day long. Like every time I left the room, I was like hunched over and just kind of crawling on the floor to get to where I needed to get to next. And but they made it such a pleasant experience. It's like every time I got back in that space, it was like, okay, you're good now. Just pretend like your back doesn't hurt. And it was an overall very cool. And then the team that Sean built, uh, from all of them, are just amazing creative people. And I think in a filming experience, it truly does take a village. And I'm such an admirer of other people's arts, like people that do stunts, people that do set dressing, people that do costume wardrobe, people that do makeup. I'm a huge fan of that because I know it. I can't do what I do without all those people around me. So
Well, all right, guys. So normally I would ask a horror question, but since we're talking an action movie, I'm gonna ask each one of you. I'm gonna toss one action question out there, personal opinion. Have each one of you answered. All right. The question is going to be Jean-Claude Van Damme, Tom Cruise, or Steven Seagal. Who is your favorite adversary action star and why? Nicole, you're first.
Being put on the spot here. Um, I think in terms of what he can do on the screen, Tom Cruise. I know that might be the cliche answer, but I have reasons. So I just think that he's so dedicated to his craft. He takes it very seriously, and he really tries to do the absolute best job that he can with any stunt, with anything that they ask him to do. And so watching him, you can just see that passion come through. Do I feel like he's always kind of playing Tom Cruise on his action films? Like, yeah, but hell, he's having a great fucking time doing it, and he's making millions of dollars. Like, hello, I'll take that. So yeah, I think and again, he's just fun to watch. Like those movies, you go into it, you know what you're getting. You know you're going to get a solid action film with some really amazing stunts, some explosives, some cars. Like you're just going to get it all. And it pulls you in. So yeah, I'll go with my cliche little answer of Tom Cruise.
And Davis.
I don't know why I went straight to Chuck Norris when you asked me that question. But I guess the closest thing to that is Van Damme. Only because that's Nicole and I are from different generations, and of course I grew up with knowing a Tom Cruise that did Risky Business
Yeah, same
and
here.
and did kind of comedy, romantic adventure movies. And the one where he has a horse in a fantasy film, Odd Legend or something like that. I can't think, but anyway, um, I a quick story if you don't mind. I was as I was on Conjuring, I was doing my own stunts. I had a whole stunt team. My key stunt guy does all the Bond movies. Like does all the stunt coordinating and is in them. Is and Glenn. And I was supposed to crawl underneath the waterbed one day, and I'd rehearsed it the day before. They made a place for me to crawl underneath the waterbed, and the water was going to come down on top of me, and my hand had to come up through the mattress. I got to set the next. Well, I heard the producers talking that day, and they were saying, "Why is Davis underneath the waterbed? Who decided to put Davis underneath the waterbed? Who's thinking about this?" I get to set the next day, and the director pulls me to the side, and he says, "Davis, we need to talk." And I said, "Am I in trouble?" And he said, "No." He said, "I know you like doing your stunts." He said, "I know." And I told him, I said, "I come from an indie world where we do our own stunts." I had a stunt man. He came every day, got in the same outfit, makeup, everything I did. Um, he said, "You've become very important to us. And if something happens to you, all these 300 people are out of work if something happens." And and I said, "I understand." He said, "You're disappointed, aren't you?" And I said, "No, I just come from an indie world." And he said, "I want you to look around. This ain't indie." And I had a whole new respect for that at that point of what the stuntman or stunt woman does. And they do protect us as actors, and they protect an entire production when it comes to filming. Because if the actor does get hurt and they've already shot half the film, you may have to wait 2-3 months to finish all that up. So I have great respect for all stunt people. So even Chuck Norris.
And Sean.
So my pick is the same as Nicole's, so I have to think of a way to say something different about it. But I admire the magic of filmmaking and how Tom Cruise is able to bring such a powerful performance to the screen and feel like such a big action star, especially because he's such a short person. And I think that's interesting because I'm also short. I'm like 5'4". Nicole's very short, but like through the magic of filmmaking, Nicole brought like a whole, you know, this larger than life thing to the screen, and like that's what Tom Cruise does every time to me. So I really admire that and him, and Nicole, of course.
You and
Yeah, I'm a
Nicole are
Van,
both giants in my eyes.
Thank you, Davis. Thank you.
see, I'm an '80s kid, so I'm a Van Damme fan. I grew up
And then,
on Van Damme. Bloodsport is my favorite movie, so I love Van Damme. I do love the Mission Impossible movies. They're probably some of my favorite action movies. Their movies are so great. So I agree with you when it comes to Tom Cruise. Now, Steven Seagal, fuck Steven Seagal. I don't like Steven Seagal movies. I don't like him as a person. He's a horrible person.
whew, glad I didn't say Steven Seagal.
I'm talking about with all the rape charges and all that stuff. He seems like a horrible person. So that's why I couldn't even give it to like if I did like him. All right, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna shoot with Sean. Where can everyone find you?
So right now for finding my production company, it's Hogar Images. We have a website. It's just hogarimages.com. But if you'd like to follow our movie and learn a little bit more about us and follow our journey with the movie, we're on Facebook. If you look up Blackout Action Film, and then on Instagram, we're uh, Blackout Short Film.
And Nicole.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, which is where I doom scroll at night, at Nicole, Nicole, the letter D as in dog, and then Cates, Cates. Um, That's probably, I mean, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't really get on it all that often, if I'm being honest. And I do have a website and I'm on IMDb. So that's probably where you can find good old Nicole.
Davis.
I guess I mainly use Facebook just to keep up with family and close friends, and I don't really promote on there. I have a Facebook acting page, but I don't tend to it. But I guess my most active account is Instagram, and it's Davis Osborne. I think it's just Davis Osborne. If you Google me, I'm the only Davis Osborne out there, or the first one that pops up, which I'm thankful for. But yeah, Instagram, and that's where I share content and work and things like that. So
I love it. Listen, everybody, please follow them, and please also follow the Blackout action film page. It's the badass trailer. I saw it. Definitely take a look, and I'm looking forward to seeing the short film as well. So, Sean, get that over to me as soon as possible.
You got it.
Listen, Sean forgot to say there's also a Spanish version. Sorry, I had to.
Oh,
yeah. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, no. So, my family heritage is Ecuadorian, and as kind of an experiment or just for fun, I decided to also make an alternate edit to the film. Since, as Davis said, a lot of the film is like no dialogue and mostly voiceover, and the story is told a lot through visuals. So I recorded a voiceover in Spanish with another actress who is fluent, and then I also
who did my voiceover?
I created like an alternate color grade and just like made some tweaks and then like did all of the credits in Spanish too. Also changed the soundtrack to have a different vibe. And it's like a completely different movie almost, but it's really, really cool.
I want a copy of that one.
Yeah, so I'll have to promote that next.
It's so good. It's so good. It makes me seem really cool as well because like it's a fluent Spanish speaker who sounds fucking amazing, and it's supposedly my voice. So I felt really, really cool watching it. It's amazing.
Bonita.
So all your friends and family like, Nicole, I didn't know you know fluent Spanish. Okay.
Literally, I'm not gonna. So I lived with a lot of Latinas when I first moved to Raleigh, and so I was picking up pretty well on some Spanish. And then they said this, not me. I quote, "Nicole, you're really fluent in Spanish when you're really drunk."
Exactly.
Next time, Sean, you can use me. I just have to be, 4 glasses of wine in, and then I can do the Spanish ADR.
I'm amazing at karaoke when I'm drunk.
See?
Yeah,
we all have special skills that emerge.
Amazing dancer when I'm drunk. Yes, I'm amazing dancer when I'm drunk. Yes.
It'll definitely be tequila if we do that, Nicole.
100%. I need some limes and some salt, and I'm good to go.
Listen, guys, it's been a pleasure having you on. You're more than welcome to come on anytime. I'd love to have you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, listen, everybody, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. That's Sean, Nicole, and Davis. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Take care. Good job, guys.
Whew.